Now my computer will not follow me. So guys, we are here and we're going to kind of take up kind of where we left off this morning, dealing with frustration in your business. Right now, that we're doing passive, Lord, that's not what we're doing. We're doing massive action for 90 days. And so if you're not on the massive action team, just apply it to your business. If you're moving and your goal is to hit certain ranks, certain levels, certain goals, certain CVs, whatever it is, the massive action group team is really getting to experience some of the frustrations that are in a part of this business. And that's what this industry does. But what I'd like to say, coming from a traditional business, is that all the issues that we go through in this business are so small compared to so many other ones. And so it's such a low entry rate into here. Some people can say, hey, if they're doing another job, oh, I can make it. I've been making it. And it's not the urgency that you have when you have gone into business for yourself. You have a lot of money at stake. Normally, it's all on you. You have to do everything. You have to do the website. You have to pay insurance. You have to pay employees. You have to do everything. So you might take it a little more serious. But in this business, it can make you so complacent because it isn't my full-time thing. If I don't work hard and I don't get what my goal is, so what? I'm still doing pretty good as it is. So it kind of takes you, you're not forced to go at it 100%. And so on the 90-day massive action plan, we say that we're going to go hard for 90 days. But I would, because I've been involved in 90-day massive actions, and I've seen results and I've seen what people do. I just want to know if you are really hitting it like you could. I don't know, and I haven't checked with you guys because this is a development of leadership, okay? So I don't know where you're falling. And if you're falling in a walk, a swift walk, a jog, a sprint. But if anybody is not hitting the sprint, then you might not really be into massive action. So what you have to do is make your own self better. Even on your team, whether you're in the massive action group or if you're just working your business, if you want it to be better, guess what? You have to make it better. You can't worry about the people on your team. You can't, if the right people are not on your team, then if you're just doing this as a business, you go out and recruit more people, because the more you recruit, the more people you bring into your business, the odds are you're going to get somebody that's serious and wants to run just like you want to run. Okay. And so the frustration is just part of the process. But I would rather be frustrated in a business that I have had low entry rate, don't have to do all the work, and it's really up to me to be successful. So Dan talked about that. So that is the development of leadership, because you're going to do it with or without anybody else. And in this industry, you'll find all the time that the people you start out with might not be the people you end up with. Everybody, that's why you treat everybody really good and see what their potential is and how you can help them get what they need to get from this business. But don't get upset with anybody, because this is their business and they can work it like they want to. If they're on a team with you and they're not pulling their weight, maybe something else is going. So you should strive even harder to do it. So the key is look in the mirror whenever you're getting upset. If you wanted to rank no matter where you are in massive action or just regular, if you're in the business and you're not on the massive action team. If you want to rank, go to work, because you can do it. You can rank all by yourself, meaning you can go out and get new people, meet new people, use your activity sheets so that you, and do the exercises that are taught on how to meet people on social media. So Mooney and Dan, you are on the panelists. Dan, I know you are in transit and you can't be here, but Mooney, do you have anything you'd like to say? And because you are developing leadership, because I know you're going through some of the things and frustrations that we're talking about. So
and when he finished, you go ahead, Mr. Diamond Mooney. And when he finished, I'll come back and chime in, Ms. Phyllis.
Okay.
Well, if anything, hold on. Let me show my face so people don't think.
Yeah, show your face.
Can y'all hear? Okay. Let me cover this bald head. So y'all. So
on the tell Dan to cover his to not play.
You know what I'm saying?
On Dan, with what Pastor Dan exposed yesterday, and I guess with what has been happening, and I've been calling it resistance. You know, frustration is, it really does, and you said it perfectly, forces me to look at myself, ask myself, why am I getting frustrated? And it comes with the territory, and I would say where I had to check myself, right? Because the expectation in my head when I was that everything was supposed to be like the way that I saw it. And if it wasn't, then I got frustrated. And that's just not right. You know, so, and then, you know, self-development is starting to help me. Let me say, it's starting to help me. So reading Dale Carnegie's book, you know, of relationships and how to win over your friends. I think it's something in that area.
Influence friends
and stuff like that. But it's really a self-check of what's my attitude like. And I haven't had the best attitude, you know, and this is a business in an industry that teaches you how to cope with yourself and cope with people. And not accept people for who they are and meet them where they are. And those are old principles that I've been learning all my life, but we get away from them. I got away from them when you step into business and you have a level of expectation in business. Mm-hmm. And it's the same. You treat people like you want to be treated. Everybody doesn't move at the beat of my drum. And I got it bad because I'm a Leo. And this is, if you notice, I'm talking all about me. I can't talk about nobody else without looking at myself. So I find myself I find myself saying more when there's a difference of opinion, identifying with that person, and even in this space saying, shoot your shot. Let's see how it works. Because it may work. I take that mindset versus that's not going to work. And I'm still working on it. So,
well, for what you're saying is, like I said, owning a business, it was like my way or the highway. Mm-hmm. But this is different because the only way you succeed in this business is that you help people get what they want.
So true.
And it makes you learn the personal development part, makes you listen.
Yes.
Makes you pivot.
Yes.
A lot. And it makes you, because I need to get what I need, but the only way I'm going to do that is to help you to get what you need. And again, everybody doesn't run at your same pace.
That's right.
And so that's why conversations, understand, and even then when it's all said and done and you do all of that, it still might not move at your pace, but at least you have done what you do. And if you're leading, lead by example. So they see you and that's what they want to duplicate.
And you know what? Not by coincidence, I don't think by coincidence we're on this topic, because it happens to the best. We just heard, and I just got finished listening to Kurt Franklin apologize for the interaction that he was having with his son. And the thing is really he identified that, you know what, yeah, we've been having problems, but I should know I gotta work a little harder. Even though it's like this as a leader, as people who see me all around the world, he just acknowledged, he was like, I'm not perfect, but I gotta work better. I gotta work harder, you know. So, you know, to God be the glory. We keep on plugging at it and don't watch our expectations of other people. I have to watch mine of other people. So, period. Pastor Dan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is all good dialogue. I would turn my camera on, but if I do so, that means I would try to position myself so that you guys can see, because I got the camera on, and then that will probably
Don't get
not be
distracted
wise
while driving.
while
Yeah.
driving, right?
Don't
So
get
what I'm going
distracted.
to do, there's a couple of things in my brain that I want to kind of share, and what I'll do, because we only have 18 minutes left in this call, I'm not going to consume the 18 minutes, but I'm going to give about 3 things that we must do in dealing with frustration, either from ourselves as leaders, or even frustration as it pertains to our team members. Because whenever you do a thing and you come in with an expectation, and the expectation is not met, is disappointment sets in. And so in business, you could plan all you want to plan, but the truth of the matter is, if you don't plan for things to go as planned, then you set yourself up for potential frustration. And the frustration, you guys, and that's why I caught myself earlier today, for those who was on our Wednesday morning call at 8 o'clock in the Diamond Factory, because I was getting ready to say, as leaders, you can't get frustrated, but it really wasn't what I was intending to say. So what I was intending to say, which I said it, was leaders will get frustrated, but you can't allow frustration to get you. In other words, since you mentioned Kirk Franklin, undoubtedly, I'm a father that's raising kids in this generation. I get frustrated. I'll get frustrated as a father, but it's very important that you don't allow frustration to get you, because when you allow frustration to get you, you become subject to it. And that's all that happened with Kirk Franklin. So his response, so he was no longer responsible, watch this, in his response, because responsibility says that you give the appropriate response to something that you are engaging with. That being said, how do you deal with this frustration? Because I don't want to gloss over it as if it's not a real thing. The frustration is real. It's real. And what I want you to do is I want you to put your finger on what is the cause of this negative emotion. And then what I want you to do is I want you to engage. I want you to engage. What do you mean? See, many leaders try to rescue themselves or rescue people from the negative emotions. They try to rescue themselves from it. And the truth is, neither approach is effective. Glossing over it is not effective. The well-intentioned reassurance, may or may not be effective. But what will be effective is if you can identify, where's this frustration coming from? Mm-hmm. Why am I frustrated? Identify it, label it, then engage it. And that means you got to deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, what I learned about it is that it always has a way to come and deal with you. And that's not only in this era, but that is in any aspect of your life. So you got to deal with it. You got to deal with how you feel. But now, as you deal with how you feel, you got to move. And as you understand how you feel, you got to move, watch this now, from being frustrated, and frustration will cause you to have a lot of criticism.
Mm.
And so you cannot feed that criticism. You begin to criticize yourself. You begin to criticize people around you. You begin to criticize the company. You begin everything. You become very critical because you are frustrated. And so once you become very critical, you establish a mentality and negativity. So now your entire approach to the overall process is negative. It's negative energy. It's
Right.
and literally it is not going to help you. It is going to hurt you. Are y'all understanding this? So you got to move from not being the self-critic, but you got to become the self-coach. You got to begin to coach yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be critically important. Don't feed the self-critic, but feed the self-coach. Once
Good.
the emotion has been identified and the raw energy underneath has been exposed, you got to remember that it's just that. It's raw. And at this stage, it can trigger, watch this, the positive self-coach voice in your head that says things like, hey, I clearly had a blind spot. I was clearly having a bad day, but this is not who I am. I am better than this. I am going to be able to overcome this. I may have missed the mark this time, but next time I promise you I'm going to hit it. This is the self-coach. And the self-critic says, I'm a failure. The self-critic says, this is not going to work. The self-critic says, I'm by myself. The self-critic says, they're not going to follow. But the self-coach says something totally, the self-coach says, yes, I can. And I just need to invest more time in understanding how to do this better. The energy, and so you got to move from being a self-critic to the self-coach. The positive self-coach is helpful. The self-critic is self-destructive.
That's good.
I'm going to say that one more time. The positive self-coach is helpful. The self-critic is self-destructive.
Yeah.
Because literally you become the activity or the actions of your thoughts. So whatever you're telling yourself is going to believe. You was about to say something, Ms. Phyllis?
No, I was just going to say, does anybody have any questions out there, any frustrations that they're dealing with that we could kind of talk about in these last 11 minutes? Because
Well, before they get that question, I got this one more thought in my head that I want to get out real quick. And I only spent 180 seconds on it. Here it is. Listen, it's flowing. I gotta let it flow when it's flowing. Here it is, you guys. Here it is. So number one, you identify the negative energy, the negative emotion, and you engage it. You deal with it. Number two, you tap into and feed the self-coach and not the self-critic.
yes.
Number three, you channel all of that energy. You're gonna like this, Miss Phyllis, to massive action.
I'm writing it down. That's how much I like it.
You're gonna challenge and channel all of this energy to massive action. The energy that underlies negative emotion can be channeled into things that you can control. Are you getting this? Because where you can't control people,
Yeah.
you can control you. Where you can't control what others do, you can control what you do. And if you channel that energy into massive action, I'm talking about with a chip on your shoulder. I'm talking about you're LeBron James or Michael Jordan, and you're in the last quarter of the championship game, and nobody on your team is making shots. Everybody else is making turnovers. And you decide, I'm going to give me the ball and put it in my hands, and I'm going to take over, and I'm going to guarantee a championship. That's how you do it. Channel that frustration, channel that negative energy into massive action, and watch the results. All right, I'm done. That's my 180 seconds.
Hey, I think you did an awesome job. I'm like, I don't know what they can say, but if they want to share or ask you some questions, hey, Kathy Weathersby, if they want to share, anybody want to put anything in the chat, have anything to say, want to air anything, want to get it out, because every now and then you need to do that. You need to purge so that you can get that out and get moving. Don't get stuck. Oh, Kathy Gia, what does he say? Oh, preach. She told you to preach, Dan.
I wasn't trying to preach, y'all. I was
Yes,
just, I
you
got
were. Hey,
passionate.
you don't know. Minister Mooney said, okay, Pastor Dan. So I said, okay, this ain't Coach Dan, this Pastor Dan.
Hey,
Because I know he
y'all,
was about to bring it.
hey,
Yeah.
y'all know I try not to preach. I try to just coach, but sometimes I get passionate and it kind of crosses over.
So does anybody have anything they would like to say? Because you know what, this is part of growing, guys. So if you're frustrated about anything, sometimes we need to talk about it so we can get past it.
And you know what, Phyllis? A lot of times frustration comes from a place, most of the time in this space, for, like Pastor Dan said, from your expectations. Your expectations of where you looking at, where, honestly, I'm being so real, I'm looking at where I feel that I'm supposed to be with my team, and there's underperformance according to my perspective, and that's just not good enough. And that's a wrong mindset.
Well, let me tell you what solves that. And so, you know me, I can make things really, really simple. I always say I can make them really simple. That means you got to go recruit some more people. Exactly. That's all that means, because it all falls back to you. If you're dissatisfied with anything, that's why I love this business. If it's not going right for me, I can't blame nobody.
That's right.
I can go out there and do something. I don't have to wait on my boss to give me permission. I don't have to wait on my manager to say it's okay. It's up to me to make the difference. So I'm just giving that to you, Mooney. And I know how you feel, but at the end of the day, when a person looks in the mirror, they got to say, you're satisfied? That's that LeBron. That's Michael Jordan who said, I'm going to make this team is going, we going to do this with or without them. Yeah. So that's just how you have to. And I acknowledge your frustration. Mm-hmm. Don't think I don't. But at the end of the day, if nobody does, I can acknowledge it. And tomorrow you're going to feel the same way. But my thing is, what can I do about it?
That's right.
I can go out there and try to recruit some more people.
And the thing is, it's amazing. This is what just downloaded. And Pastor Dan can relate to this. It's we in the pulpit, right? And we calling and saying the Holy Spirit is in this place, right? But we look out and there's somebody who doesn't have the anointing fall on them at that moment. So who are we to get mad and upset because that person hasn't touched the anointing yet, right? And it's really an entitlement. It's a bad entitlement spirit that I just really had to check myself about. And I'm still checking myself.
Those are such good nuggets, because you know, the stuff I talk about the most is the stuff it took me forever to get. Like, if I had known how powerful a three-way was when I first started in this industry, there's no way I wouldn't. But I'm like, oh, I don't need a three-way. I can answer this question. It's not about me. Right. It's just never about you. It's always what you're thinking. It's never about you. The whole psychology behind a three-way is so important when you get it. But it's like, I probably heard that years later. I got it. A light bulb went off. And I'm like, wow, three-ways are the bomb. And so I started using it, because I took me being out of, oh, I don't need that. No, yeah, you do need it. Like when they tell you your nephew, your cousin, my family ain't gonna do it, my friends, same family and friends I got. That's right. You're not telling me nothing new. We all have those same family and friends. That's right. So it's like, those are things you just have to go through, and I wish you would get it. I wish the light bulb would go off sooner, but I look at my own journey. It didn't go off sooner, but I stayed in there. I just kept on doing it. Right, Kathy? What time is it? Oh, okay, we got 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Anybody else got anything in the chat?
I just realized I was muted. I was saying amen, and you
Oh,
had 4 minutes.
I read your
That's
lips.
good.
girl.
Crystal
Okay.
put a great question in. Do we have any specific trainings and recording on how to do 3-ways?
No, but well, you know what, Pastor Dan? I think that would be, Coach Dan, I think that'll be a good training for next week. And because Wednesday, because you know what? When you tell somebody to do something all the time, but you've never shown them how to do it, you just assume they know how, that breaks it down too. So let's do a 3-way call. We might get a couple done on next Sunday, for the Massive Action Group, and bring it back for the whole entire team. We can explain why a 3-way call is important and how one is effectively done. Thank you, Crystal, for that.
Thank you, Crystal. Let me ask this question right quick. It's 27 people here just chatting. Who feels awkward doing 3-ways? I just want to see. We're not gonna judge. I just want to know, because there's a time in which I felt very awkward.
Dr. Tyus.
Anybody else? I always
Crystal.
Okay. Now let me ask. If you don't mind sharing with the people who have said, tell me why you feel awkward doing a 3-way, just so we know. Because I know the reasons why I can feel awkward, but it helps share what we need to share on helping get through that. I haven't done one on my own before.
Because you're supposed to have one done with you first, so you'll know how. Yesterday, I was on the phone doing a 3-way for somebody, and she said, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I learned how to do it." So that's light bulb moments. We will share that, and the grand opening too. We'll get that done for you. Actually, we can do a session Sunday night, because those things are good to help you move to the next level, as well as come back Wednesday and do it for everybody.
Dr. Tyus, thank you for the transparency. I love that. That
Phyllis,
usually happens.
Phyllis, are you talking about doing a role play 3-way?
Yeah, we can do role play. I mean, that's how they get it. You know, you actually do those steps. Okay, guys, what time is it, Kat? It's 2 minutes.
So that's good.
You got 2 whole minutes.
So anytime quickly, when you're doing a 3-way, if you've never done one before, when you edify, and we'll talk about that, but your sponsor is doing that 3-way for you, or whoever, your job as a person that got the 3-way going is to be quiet and listen, so that you will know how to turn around and do that same thing for your team member. But we're going to go over that and show you every step that you're supposed to do and why.
Excellent.